There is something special inside you.
Welcome to GNG Podcast with your host, speaker, best-selling author, Chaz Jackson.
Yo, what's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Chaz Jackson coming back to you once again, representing GNG Gifting and Gift. Hey, I personally just want to take the time to tell each and every one of you, thank you so much for giving me your eyes and your ears once again as we get ready to dive deep into some inspiration that I pray will plant like a seed in your mind and assist you in becoming a greater version of yourself. So you guys are in for a treat today. We have my guy, Victor Pisano. He is on GNG Podcast, and he's ready to share some amazing value as we dive into the theme, Your Value Lies in Your Values. So go ahead and get your pen and paper ready. We are going to give some amazing information for you guys to be able to take the daily challenge if you see fit on implementing into your lifestyle. And you know, if you've been tuning in to GNG Podcast, and for my new listeners, our motto here is we are all gifted differently to make a difference. And no one is ever too small to be a difference maker right now. So whatever circumstance or situation you find yourself in, you can grow from that. You can be a difference maker in your environment. And I encourage you to do that and continue to take that daily challenge. I'm going to get ready to read off this short bio on Victor. Before I do, I want to talk about the mission statement of GNG Podcast, what it stands for. And we strive to provide tips and techniques for young men as they strive to grow in personal development. And I want you to take this daily challenge with me, the mission of becoming a passionate visionary who is determined to leave a legacy for themselves by adopting unwavering life values and serving others in an area of gifting led by God. So that is the daily challenge I'm taking. I know my man Victor Pisano is taking that daily challenge, and we want to encourage you to take it alongside with us. And let me go and read off this short bio on Victor. We're going to get this giant on this episode. Victor Pisano has inspired executives, entrepreneurs, leaders, high school and college student athletes for over the past 20 years. All across the country on his leadership platform, Charged Up, and through his coaching and training sessions that he has held and been very successful in doing. He's a best-selling author. He's doing some amazing things to have him on this platform. Victor Pisano, you are on GNG Podcast. Are you ready to get it, champion?
Thank you very much, Chaz. To be on Gift and a Gift, this is a privilege today. I'm excited to be with you, and I think you're a 1-year anniversary coming up. Am I right?
Yes. It's actually official today, actually. So
happy anniversary, my friend. Happy anniversary
with GNG Podcast. And I tell you, so many phenomenal people such as yourself has made this dream come true. And God, learned so much from you guys, built so many amazing relationships, and giving God all the glory for putting me in the position to be with people like yourself. And just to see how you serve and hearing so many phenomenal stories from all the guests building up to this point. Gosh, man. And I back in 2012, when I mark as one of my stronghold moments, and looking back to what God has brought me out of to 2021, man, it just blows my mind to this point that, I feel like I want to tear up some, just the amount of people and situations and growth that's been put into place to be at this position today with you with GNG Podcast, man. I'm just so humble and so grateful and blessed, and words can't describe it, if that makes sense.
That's amazing. That first year it's exciting because you're building something, and each day, it's not necessarily ourselves that provide the armor. I'm with you 100%. It's those other people that bring joy and just that emotion that we feel that we can connect on, and you grow from that, and they give you that armor, and you get stronger and you get stronger and you get more confident. And that's the beauty of it. And to celebrate 1 year, you got to look back today at that first and say, my goodness, I was nervous. I didn't know how this thing was going to look. And here we are 365 days later. And, Chaz, I watch a lot of your stuff, and you have had incredible guests with unique messages. Like no two people have been different. And it's so much fun when you're able to have a diverse crowd offer a diverse message, because I know your goal is just to touch somebody. If you can get one or two people through somebody, you've done what you want, because that just grows over time. So, man, I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. And I know this journey's just begun for you.
Dude, man, you charging me up, Victor. You charging up. That's good stuff. Now, I know who's listening to us right now. They want to know more about your story. Can you go into how you got to the point to be a podcast host, inspiring so many people over the past 20 years to grow into the phenomenal individual you are and serving in your area of gifting? So where did all that start from? Can you share your story with us?
I absolutely can. It starts with my father, who was an incredible, incredible person. He didn't go to college. However, he was so street smart, and the wisdom that he provided was unreal. He had a way of teaching us lessons in a way that it was guided discovery. In other words, he wouldn't tell us how to do something, but rather he would give us the steps along the way to make us feel like we were doing it. And his wisdom, his friendship, his love, it really did mold my character and my integrity. And, the chapter that I have is called Your Value Lies in Your Values. And that's something he used to always tell me. It was his inspiration. It was him teaching me the importance of character and integrity. But Chaz, he taught me about paying it forward. And what he meant was, when you find your gift, when you find the thing that God has given you that you have the ability to elicit out of others, that's making an impact.
Wow,
and
like
if
that.
If you don't look at that as a privilege, then you're wasting time. So for me, I always loved sports. I played football, I played baseball, and I enjoyed that camaraderie. I enjoyed the coaches I had. They built my character. They built my integrity. My teammates were incredible. They're like family to me even today. So I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to reach out to the student athletes, to the coaches, to the athletic directors, and I did want to provide a message of motivation. Motivation to me is short term. I wanted to provide a message of inspiration, because I wanted to elicit the greatness out of each of those student athletes. They were already given a gift. They're a student athlete. What are they going to do with that gift? Are they going to look at stats, or are they going to look at the voice they have and the impact they can make in others? So when I talked to them, we really focus on leadership. And as that built, and I saw people making a difference or making such a dramatic shift in their personality, I knew I needed to get that message out there more. So I jumped into podcasts. From podcasts, we went into blogs. Then it went into interviews. None of this stuff was planned. It was just like a cascade, so then I get one employee, and then I have two, and then I have three. And it's one of those things you look back and you're like, what the heck is happening? Like, this is really working. And I've been blessed to speak all over the country at universities from, Alabama, Syracuse, Arizona, Texas A&M, Texas, McNeese, ULM, ULL. I mean, I could just name them all. And it's gone from student athletes to now coaching staffs, and now ADs putting together what their mission is as a university program for athletics. And that's what I really want, because we focus so much on stats and wins and losses. But at the end of the day, if ADs could adopt the same mentality of coaches, that we want to bring in these young men, we want to bring in these young women, and we want to create productive adults who are going to make an impact.
Wow, I like that.
You're getting athletic directors now who are saying the same thing, and they're supporting that mission. They're setting bars on GPAs. They're setting bars on community service hours. They're setting bars on getting them out into the public, shaking hands and thanking the donors. Little things. It says right up here, gratitude. Let an athlete learn what gratitude is. Let them earn their scholarship through the goodwill and the good deeds they can do. And that's what brings me up every morning. That's what makes me turn this microphone on. That's what makes me a year and a half ago get on a plane every weekend. But it's a calling. I feel like it's just a calling.
Wow, thank you so much for diving even more deeper into your story. And gosh, it's just seeping through this video of me looking at you at the screen of how passionate you are about, youth leadership and serving others and creating phenomenal lives, or helping create phenomenal lives for other people. Because I love in your chapter where you talk about, one of the greatest gifts that we have is gratitude, the gift of gratitude. And you've mentioned that. And I love that. I love that sign in the back too, by the way.
I got to have my reminder. Like every day when I walk in that door, that's the first place my eyes meet, because you got to remind yourself, especially now, there's so much negativity. There's so many people who lean so strongly one way or the other, that I think part of our problem is we're not present. We're not where our feet are. We're worried about yesterday. We're freaking out about tomorrow, but we're not where our feet are. And the easiest way to relieve stress, the easiest way to be present, is to find gratitude. Find gratitude, because it's all around us, Chaz. But we wear blinders in life. And it's so simple. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and there's kind of a big hill, and I saw this older lady pushing a cart, and she was having a little bit of trouble. It's no big deal for me to park mine and just go walk over there and say, "Ma'am, may I help you?" You see, that's something very simple. And she gives me a hug and says, "What a gentleman." And it's just an instinct. But see, I just made someone feel good. I guarantee you they're going to do the same to somebody else.
Most definitely. And sometimes it's just a smile. I've had people that say, "Chaz, thank you for smiling." Even I know with the pandemic and everything, we've been having masks, but people can still tell if you're smiling by looking at your eyes, and that can change someone's emotion, attitude. I love what John Maxwell says. He talks about how, your attitude is the mind's paintbrush, right? And gratitude is one of those ways to control that paintbrush, to paint some positivity into the world, to paint some empowerment to the world whenever you're interacting with people, especially with ourselves, right? Because there's so many times, like you were saying a little bit ago, like the world, man, it's full of distractions, and it's built to take our focus off of what's really important, take focus off of gratitude. But if we can, control that attitude standpoint and really understand that at the end of the day, God has brought us out of so much stuff. And for me, I work on starting my morning to where I start with some gratitude and say some things that I'm blessed of having, my family, this house that God just recently gave us, and little things like that to put up my mind and begin to control that paintbrush to start my day charged up, right? And be able to charge other people up. So yeah, man, I really resonate with that whole gratitude standpoint and how passionate you are about that, because on my journey, I'm discovering more and more of how important it is to fix our mind on that on a daily basis as we influence ourselves and influence other people, right?
Absolutely. It's so cliche now because people keep talking about gratitude journals. And, for years, when I do talk with student athletes, I tell them you need to have self-awareness within yourself. You got to put that phone away. You got to turn the TV off, no distractions. And the first thing you have to do is be self-aware enough to know who you are and what you're capable of. Once you do that, then the gratitude begins to emerge. And I tell them, you want to write 5 things down that you're grateful for every day. And, with my dad, when we started that, it was write down 5 things. And I did it for a few weeks. It was a breeze, Chaz. It was a breeze. Guided discovery. He said, "Okay, I want you to try something. I want you to write those 5 things down, but I don't want you to repeat it." So, for example, I may have had a great baseball game on Tuesday because a teammate pulled me out of a hole. Same thing happened on Friday, and I might have written it twice. He's telling me no, like take that one away. Just count it once. I did it, and it was a little more difficult. Then he stops me and he says, "Okay, here's another change I want you to make. I want you to assume that I know and we know you're grateful for the roof over your head, the food on our table, the love of your family. Let's move those out of the way." And things became a little bit different. I was struggling to get 2 things. I was struggling to get 3 things. And I didn't know exactly what he was trying to teach me, but I got a little frustrated because I'm a perfectionist and I want it right. And I was like, Dad, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I can't do it. It was so easy at the beginning. And he told me, he said, how do you define gratitude? And I go, I define gratitude as the wonderful things that people do to you that have an effect on you. And he said, I think that's a great definition, but I want you to look at it different. What if I told you gratitude is something you have complete control of? It's not outward in. Gratitude is inward out. It's what you do for others that is wonderful, that causes a positive impact, that can change somebody's day. That's what gratitude is. Holding a door, like you said, smiling, looking someone in the eye when you talk, a firm handshake, being a gentleman, going above and beyond. If somebody asks for this, give them a little bit more. It's those little things that you do in life that are gratitude. And from that moment on, like my gratitude, the minute I step out the door, I'm on a quest to see if I can beat yesterday's number. It becomes part of your life. And that is gratitude is completely inward out. We control it. Don't wait for gratitude to come to you. It's not a fulfilled life. Fulfilled life is giving, because you'll receive it back in return tenfold.
So that's so powerful. Whoever's listening right now, I know you are very appreciative to ask you to grab that pen and paper, because there's so much gold that was shared right there. And as we go into this whole concept of the theme, I want to challenge whoever's listening as well is to kind of do what Mr. Pisano was talking about here. Write out 5 things that you're grateful for. I feel like that's a really good challenge to take, a daily challenge to take. And again, thinking about that mind's paintbrush, I feel like that really will put us in a better position to start our day off on a positive note, understanding what we're grateful for and how we've been blessed along the journey, despite, the traumas and dramas and difficulties. At the end of the day, those things help us grow, and we have to be blessed and grateful for where we are in this journey of our life. So that's really good stuff. And thinking about this theme, your value lies in your values. Your value lies in your values. When you hear that, Victor, what comes to mind? What does that mean to you?
Every day we have to invest in ourselves, and the value that I can provide to others, be it in a teaching atmosphere, as a friend, as a family member, as a mentor, it all depends on the values that I hold. So when I say your value lies within your values, every day I've got to work on my character. I've got to work on my integrity. I have to work on my empathy. I have to work on my faith. I have to make the investment in myself, because not only do I have the ability to grow as a person, but if I concentrate on those things and am blessed and privileged to help others, I'll gain their trust and I can elicit something out of them. I tell athletes so often, stop at the perception of perfection. Perfection does not exist. And let's say hypothetically perfection does exist. Chaz, that's a finish line. And I don't think anybody's trying to hit a finish line in their goals.
Right.
They need to chase greatness. If you're chasing greatness, it's a constant commitment to taking yourself to another level. And for me, when I talk about my values, there's a constant commitment in taking myself to another level by being a better father, by being a better friend, by being a better mentor, by being a better worker, by doing all those things that was passed down to me by my family to ensure that my family is also carrying those on. Because all too often, people work so hard to get somewhere, and one negative action can take you down. As a leader, we're always on stage, Chaz, always. We have got to show that calmness, that preparedness, and that's all character and integrity. Every day we're bombarded with opportunities to show it. Do it. It's difficult to bite your tongue, but you bite your tongue. It's difficult, especially on social media, to just want to fire back. Pull your fingers away. Don't worry about it. Let it be. What you can control, control. What you cannot control, don't jump in those waters because they're deep. There is no shallow point. It goes straight down. And so that's why when I talk about values, we'll never achieve a perfection in our values, but we're going to chase greatness, and we're going to get there every day if we focus a little bit on it. And it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey if you approach the day the way you talked about it, waking up with a vigor, waking up knowing that today I can be the victim or the victor. Thank God my name is Victor, because it's easy to be Victor every day. But that's what I'm going to strive. I'm not going to be the victim. I'm going to find a way to go out of my way to help others. It just builds my character. It builds my value system.
And I feel like that's a good source of fulfillment, right? Like you feel so much fulfilled when you help other people. And a lot of times we can get away from our own junk, our own traumas and dramas, our own things that we're dealing with. And we can draw the line and plug in the blank right Victor. But a lot of times when we can transfer out of our own heads to serving someone else, gosh, at the end of the day, I know that's, we can use the word selfish, but that's in a good way, saying selfish, because it helps influence and uplift yourself while you're helping uplift someone else. So, God, I feel like that's a huge source of, fulfillment doing that. And I love how you talked about, we gotta chase greatness and not perfection. I feel like that is gold. And whoever's listening, I resonate with that so much. And I'm taking that daily challenge on. Renewing my mind to that whole concept as well, because I've heard it put this way too. We should not seek a destination, but understand that life is a journey. And once we can get to where life is a journey and know that, hey, you're journeying towards greatness, that is when we truly make an impact. And yeah, because a lot of times when you just have that one finish point, like you were saying, you kind of just find yourself looking around like, hey, what's next? But we have to get to where we're chasing greatness and understanding, hey, there's growth in that. And we have to be growing and not really having that superficial perfection, because, hey, you're never going to reach perfection. So that's really good stuff.
And what's fun about it is, think about it. You and I were able to come together because we think like-minded and we chase perfection, and we accomplished something, man. We accomplished something.
Yes, sir.
We wrote a best-selling book because like-minded people trying to impact others, right? Your message, Chip's message, my message, 15, 14 other people in there. What a beautiful collection of stories, because I read your story, I'm inspired. I read Darius, I'm inspired. I read Brian, I'm inspired. It's like, that's the kind of people I want to be associated with. And God put us together. We talked about it so much. There's LinkedIn and there's Chipped In. We got Chipped In, Chaz, we got Chipped In. And look at the gift that we were able to provide to others. And I hear so many people now saying, I feel like I have 17 books in one. Like, there's so many different perspectives and there's so many ways to think about things. That's the beauty of it. Because you and I, we treat this as a privilege. We treat this is a gift, and we're trying to elicit greatness out of others. And I look at the book and it makes me smile, because I have found other men who are willing to be transparent and be honest about influence. So to talk with you, it's a privilege because I know how you think. We've done enough interviews together. I've read your chapter. I've watched your other interviews. We think alike. And that inner circle needs to be an inner circle. Don't worry about the outer. You focus on that inner circle with like-minded people. You have every tool you need to become successful. As long as I stay in the company of Chaz Jackson, I know I will be successful. As long as I stay within the company of the men that helped contribute to that bestseller, I'm in good shape, Chaz. My life is going to be good.
Wow. That's good.
Control what you can control. It's a blessing, man. Us together is a blessing.
Hey, man, and I'm even more blessed to be in your presence. You being John amongst giants, and I love what Isaac Newton said. He says, if I've seen further than others, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. And each and every one of you guys in this book is a giant. And guys, I'm seeing so much, further by being in your presence and having your accountability, and just because you guys are so authentic and the gratitude that you have, and everyone's so willing to learn more and grow and just fellowship and just be a positive outlet in a negative world, if that makes sense. So, gosh,
100%.
man, I'm so excited about that whole journey with the impact of influence. And shout out to Chip Baker for connecting me with each and every one of these phenomenal men. And guys, we're just getting started. I know there's so much more.
You're right.
We're just getting started, man. I know there's so much more fruit that's going to be coming forth in this world and from each and every one of us. And gosh, I'm so excited just to be a part of it, man.
I am too. Like I told Chip, as long as I'm not chapter 18, I'm gonna have a good day. That was as easy as it was for me to be in the book with such great people as yourself. Wow. That just truly a blessing. Truly a blessing.
So I know we've been talking a lot about the student athletes, and I want to go here real quick and for you just to provide a tip, a technique that works for you as you strive to continue to grow through 2021, moving forward from this episode. Is there anything else that you would like to share that works for you personally? Again, a tip or technique, a ritual or routine. I know we've talked about the gratitude and, being intentional. I know we didn't necessarily mention the word accountability, but obviously it's kind of out there with us being a part of this book and having each other's back. Is there anything else that comes to mind? I know I love this in your chapter, by the way. You talked about your title is not the measure of your influence, your humility is. And we've kind of hit on that a little bit, but I just wanted to throw that out there too, because God, man, there was so much gems in your chapter. Whoever's listening to this, The Impact of Influence is available, bestseller. You got to get it, read this Giants chapter because it was a lot of jewels, man. I wrote some stuff down from that chapter and I was like, man, we got to talk about that too. So I know I threw a lot out there. Hopefully you kind of got the gist of my question here, Victor.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else?
I still operate off of one of the stories in the book, and that's Be Somebody. When I got out of college, my father had started a very successful restaurant, ended up having close to 200 units by, I'd say, 8 years into it. So I go work for him. I graduated, I've got a business degree. Things are looking good. I don't know what my title is going to be, but he come work. I figure, okay, so I'm dressed up, walk in that Monday morning, sitting with the other parts of the leadership team. And my dad just hands me the business cards. And before the meeting starts, I sit and I open. And Chaz, it's got the logo. It's got everything. It's got my name. And in bold letters, bigger than my name, it says somebody. And I'm, you figure, okay, typo. They must have not put a title. And I kind of look at him, and the meeting is a couple minutes from starting. And I'm like, what the heck is this? He just looks, shakes his head. And it was like, friends, let me ask you a question. My son thinks he's got a typo on his business card because it says somebody underneath. Everybody just starts laughing, Chaz, and they look at me, and He goes, why don't you tell them what somebody means? One of the people looks at me and goes, when you hear somebody needs to take the trash out, you're somebody. Another person told me, if you hear about one of the restaurants not having enough kitchen staff, somebody's got to go down there and help. You're somebody.
I like that.
CFO of the company leans over and says, if the numbers aren't right and they had a really busy night the night before, we don't go down there and chew them out. We go down there and we fix them. Somebody needs to go fix the numbers, take care of this thing so we can turn in everything correctly and document it. See, that's being somebody. And I learned my humility because I can't tell you how many times I had to take my tie off and go work in a kitchen, washing dishes, being a line cook, being a server, being a host, cleaning up a parking lot at midnight, going there when the alarm goes off at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. because the power keeps going off, because somebody has to do it. And if you live your life and throw away the titles, that doesn't mean anything. And if you learn that you are somebody in everything you do in life, you'd be amazed at how strong your confidence is in your ability. More importantly, the people that you work with, the relationships that you have, when you act like a somebody, all of a sudden they trust you. I could walk in a restaurant and they could tell me all the problems they had, and I can say, been there, done that. Let's talk about solutions. And they would trust me because I could think like them. In my work life, same thing. It's called cross-training in work. We go do different roles. We take on different responsibilities and we learn what other people do so we can have empathy. When raising children, most of the time, we've been through the same experiences that they have gone through. Now, with you and I, it's different. Girls, my gosh, I don't think there's a book big enough to fit everything, but that's what our wives were for, right?
Right.
We look at them, we're like, what do I say? What do I do here? But see, that's all part of the process. So in my life, I don't want a title. I just want to be somebody. So it's an exciting place to be. Be somebody. Don't be anybody. Everybody's anybody. Don't be a nobody. You want to be somebody.
That's beautiful. That's a mic drop right there, whoever's listening. And we talk about that type of technique, be somebody. And I love that, the whole aspect of humility and how you say, putting yourself in other people's shoes, understanding what they do, learning what they do, and being able to, relate. That is so key, and understanding that, hey, I can be somebody in a situation. And even though if that situation is a little bit lower than my so-called title is, that is how we build trust and respect, because the individual going, look, man, he's actually my boss, or he's my teacher, he's my coach, and my other teachers, coaches, bosses never done this, but he's willing to get his hands dirty. He's willing to do some of these things. He really cares. He really values me. He wants to serve me during my trials and tribulations, my struggles, and he really wants to learn about me. And man, I resonate with that so much, because that is how true, authentic trust and responsibility, respect is built. And gosh, I gotta keep that concept in my head. Somebody, obviously I've heard of the compound word, but putting it in that fashion, in that frame, I feel like that's really powerful. And whoever's listening, I know they agree with me. But there's been so much value given here, Victor. I'm definitely charged up. I know whoever's listening is charged up here on Gifting the Gift episode, where we are all gifted differently to make a difference. And I truly believe these tips and techniques being shared on this episode is something that whoever's listening can take that daily challenge on implementing. And obviously that takes time, but hey, striving to be that passionate visionary and serving in your area of gifting, and understanding, hey, nobody's perfect, but like my man Victor says, we have to strive towards greatness. We're called to strive towards greatness led by God, because someone needs to hear your story. Someone needs to have your influence, because your story can be oxygen to a suffocating individual out there right now. So again, step out there. You are a difference maker right now. No one's too small to be a difference maker. And continue to smile, continue to shine your light wherever you go. And Victor, again, thank you for being on GNG Podcast. I know someone listening right now want to know a little bit more about yourself, what you have coming up, moving through 2021. Can you share your information and how we can be praying for you and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So, we're getting back out in the world. We're going to take the mask off. We're going to see that smile again. So I know I'm excited I've been doing so many programs for universities on Zoom, and I feel like I've got my master's degree in Zoom, and that's something I never really wanted, but I had to be somebody. But, you can find me at Charge Up Today everywhere on social media. And then the website is chargeuptoday.com. And not only does it include hundreds of podcasts and blogs, but it also will give a schedule of where I speak. And my goal out there, and high school coaches especially, listen up. When I go do anything for a university, I always go and speak to a few high schools or middle schools at no expense. I'm there. I have an obligation to speak to the university. I want to give of myself. It goes back to that gratitude thing. I want to pay it forward. So look at the schedule on there. And if you see something, send me an email. I'd love to come work with your student council or your athletes or anybody who you feel would benefit from a discussion about leadership, positive leadership. So I appreciate that platform, Chaz. As for you, 1 year down and many, many more to go. I'm excited for you. You've got a certain spark, and I got faith that this thing is going to turn into something big. GNG is just begun.
Thank you so much, Victor. And again, I definitely resonate with everything you're doing. I'm super excited to come on alongside with you and continue to grow and inspire others together. So again, thank you for being on GNG Podcast.
I want you to stay up with GNG. More episodes coming soon. I want you to do two things for me. Keep that crown on your heart. And please remember this. We are God's echo. I love each and every one of you.
Thank you for listening to GNG Podcast. Remember, you are gifted differently to make a difference. Please visit ChazJacksonSpeaks.org and let's continue to grow together. God bless.